Alright, welcome everybody to a special BDA transmission. This is Mr. BDA with you, and you might have seen the video that King Bucho posted regarding Saturday's podcast. It's not going to take place at 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's probably going to take place at, I don't know, maybe 6:30, 7, because we are going to be watching the Mairis Briedis fight against Oleksandr Usyk. And that fight, from what I see on the internet, is taking place at 3 o'clock Eastern time, because it's taking place in Latvia. Now, I don't know if the broadcast for that starts at 3:30 and then the main event starts at 5 p.m. Eastern or something like that, but needless to say, the podcast will not be airing at 4, it will be airing afterwards. And so, since we're going to be talking about the fight afterwards, I might as well give you a little breakdown of what I think is going to happen in tomorrow's fight. Now, this is between, I'm gonna put the images here. We got Mairis Briedis from Latvia. Oh, and they're gonna be fighting in Latvia, by the way. He's 33 years old, not a young man for boxing. He's 6'1", and he has some pretty good names on his resume. You can see here he's got Durudola, Marco Hawk, Mike Perez, who is tough to look good against. The only guy who's got looked good against him is Povetkin. I'm trying to say the names in Russian now. And of course now he's taking on Usyk. Now Usyk, we all know, look at him. Does not look like a psychopath at all. He's 6'3", 31 years old. So again, time is, you know, the clock is ticking for him as well. And he's fought some good guys. You know, Michael Hunter gave him a good fight. Of course, he took out Marco Hawk, something Briedis wasn't able to do, and now he's taking on Briedis in Briedis' hometown, by the way. Oh, not hometown, but his home country. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens in that fight. Now, I got my little notes here. For Briedis, what I like about him is he's got good hand speed. Once you really take a good look at him, he can let his hands go pretty well. He's got quick feet. You know, he's able to cut the distance in there pretty quickly and use those quick hands to his advantage. The bad, he's a little sloppy, and when I say little, I mean a lot. I mean, the guy just barges in there sometimes, does not gauge the distance, does not do it behind the jab. There was a video made by the World Super Series, whatever, the people that are organizing this tournament. They made a video on YouTube where Usyk is watching Briedis' last fight and vice versa, and Usyk was commenting about that, how Briedis doesn't come behind the jab and that he doesn't really fight all that smart. Now, that can be a bad thing, obviously, but it could also prove to work in Briedis' advantage. The thing I don't like about Briedis, again, continuing with the bad, is that he's a little off balance. And again, when I say a little, I mean, you know where I'm going with this. He could be caught off balance by one of Usyk's counters, and he could go down, and he really, against a guy as good as Usyk, he cannot afford to lose any points. What Briedis has to do is he has to be deceptive. And he has to be awkward, and he has to make this a dirty fight. Briedis, one of the things he does a little too often is he clinches. Because partly it's because he doesn't know how to cut off the distance properly, so he always gets a little too close, and also because I don't think he knows how to fight on the inside. He just likes to clinch. Now, that actually could serve as a good thing against Usyk, and we're gonna talk about that later on. Usyk, what I like about him is, obviously, what most people like about him, he gauges the distance pretty well. He uses angles on the inside, a little bit like the guy most compare him to, which is Lomachenko, although he doesn't do it as quick as Lomachenko does. I like he has good stamina, very good stamina. I mean, against Michael Hunter, he ended up strong, throwing combinations, looking to end the fight, you know, by knockout. He has good combinations and good body work. He can counter to the body as well, which is, I always like to see that. Now, keys to victory here. Now, it's a long shot for Briedis, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. He has to make it rough, like I said. He won't be able to outbox Usyk. He knows that, or he should know that. And I think most of us already know that as well as boxing fans. But he can frustrate Usyk. And once you frustrate him with all that clinching and all that inside punching, you know, punching during the clinch, clenching all the time, maybe adding a little deception to it as well. You know, you clinch enough times, and when your opponent thinks you're gonna clinch again, now you punch. And that's how he was able to catch Durodola with a knockdown, because Durodola was expecting a clinch, and all of a sudden he gets, finally Briedis throws a left hook, and bam, drops him. I think it was a left hook, I don't remember exactly, but you know, very sloppy fights from Briedis against Huck and against Durodola and against Perez. But he did some good work. He let his hands go. You know, again, he doesn't jab, he doesn't set up his punches properly, which could be a nightmare against a guy like Usyk. But again, that toxic style of his might be serving him well in this one, because Usyk does, you know, very well-schooled guy. He's always looking to fight well-schooled guys, you know, like the type of guys that have that standard boxing pose, European style, that he can exploit. If Briedis goes the other way and actually just goes Ricky Hatton, John Ruiz style on him, he could make this interesting. The other advantage that Briedis might have are the judges. You know, if he makes this one close, he's in Latvia, his home country, so maybe the judges are going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He can frustrate Usyk, like I said, catch him in there. And he has to come in shape, because if he's going to be fighting that type of rough and tumble type fight, he's gonna have to come in shape, because that might take out more energy out of him than it does Usyk. Remember when Ricky Hatton fought Floyd Mayweather, and Hatton was really trying to do what he always did against fast fighters, which was come in, jump in, clinch, hit on the inside, wear guys down, get back out, you know, do a couple of feints, in and out, jab, and then finally go back in and try to rough his opponent up on the inside. And actually Mayweather beat him at his own game. So Usyk can do that. Now how does Usyk do that? He has to work the body on the inside. He has to catch Briedis on the inside while Briedis is coming in with body shots. He has to catch him with body shots. So counter uppercuts to the body would work well. Once he's clinching, use his right hand to clinch and really dig uppercuts to the solar plexus. So you're investing down the line where Briedis might be more tired from having to really fight at 100% every round just to get inside and avoid getting hit. That might take a lot of energy out of him, and then Usyk can come in late. He has to expect a rough fight as well, Usyk. He has to have seen enough tape from Briedis to understand that Briedis is going to try to make this an ugly fight. Okay, so he has to come in shape and mentally prepared that it's not going to be a clean fight. It's not going to look like a masterpiece. It's going to be rough. The other thing is he has to catch Briedis coming in. I already said that, but really, you know, don't expect to knock Briedis down or out within 5 rounds. It might happen, but again, he has to make little investments on the inside, work that body, do not neglect the body, and that way he might just have a chance to end this one late. Again, it's a very interesting fight. It's a shame that these cruiserweight fights aren't being shown on American television. You know, you would have thought that maybe HBO, with their lack of right now of quality fighters, might have or should have bought this, you know, this package. Again, maybe there were legal issues, maybe they don't want to do business with Richard Schaefer, who's associated with the tournament. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but it's a shame that this isn't being aired anywhere. Hopefully somebody can drop some links or some ways to watch that fight on Saturday night. And you know, if you can have a chance to see it, I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I like this type of sloppy fights. I don't usually, you know, depends on the context, but when it's a high level fight like this and it's a very good fighter like Usyk fighting a guy that's gonna make it rough, he's gonna try to ruin his night. It's like that guy that always went to prom without a date, and the only reason he showed up was to get drunk and do some weird antics, you know, maybe pull his pants down, pull his dick out. That's the type of guy that Briedis is. He's a drunk guy at prom that's gonna try to ruin your night, you know. I'm not talking from personal experience. I'm not saying I was a drunk guy at prom, although I did have that urge. I didn't go to prom, by the way. I didn't graduate from high school. So anyway, that's a story for another time. Guys, hope you enjoyed this little broadcast. Tell us what we got wrong, what we got right. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Take care, folks.